How many chickens have you roasted in your life? I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein, and no matter how many you've roasted, trust me, I've roasted more. So today I'm using my chicken roasting expertise next on SoFlo Taste. How fun is that? I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein. Welcome to the Goya Kitchen at the wonderful Junior Achievement of South Florida here in Northwest Broward County. Chicken again? Does that sound familiar? If you're not a vegan, it probably does. So today I thought it would be fun and maybe merciful to give you some of my recipes and maybe more importantly, my favorite ways to roast the lowly chicken that will give you a new appreciation for the popular bird. So let's get cooking. All right, everyone. I'm going to show you 3 techniques. You can take whichever one, make them all. I love them all, and they all come out very different. And it's kind of interesting to see what your favorite is. I'd love to hear your take. So this is a whole chicken, and I've decided that this one will be air dried. So this is an air dried for 3 days. The longer you keep the chicken, up to about 4 days, by the way, in your fridge, uncovered, heavily seasoned inside and out, what happens is the skin dries out and it becomes beautifully crispy, okay? It's actually really great for the chicken. It also stays really moist on the inside. I'm gonna actually borrow something that I learned from Marcella Hazan, one of my favorite chefs, Italian chefs. She basically takes a bunch of toothpicks, or in this case, a cake tester, and I'm just gonna kind of punch into it so that when we put this inside of the chicken, it will become more aromatic. So she does ask for a small lemon, and I have not been finding any small lemons lately, so we're just gonna try stuffing this, I'm sorry buddy, into the bird. Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and take a string and cross the legs like a nice lady. I don't know why I said that. Cross the legs like so, okay, and just tie it. I always do a bow tie so it's easier to come off when we're done, or there's always scissors, of course. And that is it. So season the heck out of it all over, inside the cavity and out. Let it air dry for 3 days in the fridge. Stuff it with a lemon. Let's put it into a nice hot oven. As I put one in, I'll take one out. And here is what it looks like when it comes out. All right, so this is what the chicken looks like. It has obviously the lemon on the inside. It's still tied. We're gonna cut that open. And it is beautifully crisp. I can just hear the skin just with a string coming off of it. It actually stuck to it a little bit because it's extra crispy. So what's the beautiful thing about this, if you grab a tongue and you grab that lemon that's in there, the lemon has roasted along with the chicken, and just go ahead and squeeze that lemon right over the chicken, and it's just delicious. So this is the first of the 3 techniques today. I mean, look how beautiful that is. I hate to cut it up because it's so pretty and it's too hot. So I never cut up a chicken until it rests for a good 15 to 20 minutes anyway. So we're gonna leave that beauty just like that. We're serving all our chickens today with little roast carrots and some delicious mashed potatoes today. So just so you know, all the chickens that we got today are from Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Beside the obvious, a poultry and seafood, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market has all kinds of proteins, my favorite stuff. You can pick up your order in store or curbside at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood. You can get to DelawareChicken.com, call them 954-983-6831, place an order with the good folks at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, and make sure you tell them Chef Michelle sent you. All right, everybody, come right back because I've got a lot more chickens in the oven to roast. See you in a minute.
Join Chef Michelle for her next recipe. You're watching SoFlo Taste from the Goya Kitchen at Junior Achievement of South Florida, here on Local 10.
I'm design expert Elena Capra, and after Michelle, join me for SoFlo Home Project here on Local 10.
Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. I'm Chef Michelle Bernstein. Here's something to think about. Chicken is the most popular meat in the world, and to prove it, the planet eats about 75 billion of the popular poulets every year. And that's not a poultry amount. Let's get back to counting these chickens. All right, everybody. Next thing I wanted to show you was brining chicken. So instead of brining a whole chicken, I decided to brine parts. Now, I own a fried chicken restaurant, and in that fried chicken restaurant, we brine every piece of chicken that comes our way to fry. But I thought it might be tasty, because our brine is so tasty, to go ahead and brine roast chicken. So I'm going to teach you how to make a brine. I already have some chicken parts in brine right here. So I basically throw a whole lot of tarragon into boiling water, and the water's boiling so that everything can dissolve, just so you know. I've got salt, I've got pepper, red crushed chili flake, toasted whole black peppercorns, fennel seed, mustard seed, and finally celery seed. I basically shut it off after it's been boiling, and I allow everything, well, everything that can dissolve does dissolve, everything else just sits there. And we let it come to room temperature, and then we add a whole lot of ice to it so that it totally cools down, really, really cold. And then we put chicken parts and boneless chicken. The chicken parts are obviously for the whole fried chickens, and then we do chicken sandwiches, and so that's boneless. Now the boneless chicken should only brine for maybe, at the shortest amount of time, 4 hours, the most amount of time, 24. Bone in, I really wouldn't go more than 24 hours at all either. All right, so here I've taken, you can actually ask Delaware Chicken Farm to go ahead and cut up whole chickens for you in the kind of parts that you like. I personally like my chickens to be cut up in 10 parts. What are those 10 parts? Well, we've got your wings, we've got your legs, we've got your thighs. This is all bone in, okay? So let's see. Let's put all this into parts. So a thigh, a leg, a wing, the top part of the breast, and the bottom part of the breast. So that's 10. That's how I've always cut up my chicken for fried chicken. So that's the way we cut up the chicken today for roast chicken. Now obviously you can keep your breast whole if you want to, but I like to cut it in half because to me it's just too much. And this happens to be a big chicken. All right, so there we go. So the next thing I do after it's been brining for 24 hours is that I place it on a rack over a little cookie sheet or sheet pan, and then I put this in the refrigerator overnight because it's way too wet to go into an oven the way it is. It will never crisp up. Your skin has to crisp up, and to do that you have to dry it out. Now you can't just dry it with a paper towel. That's not going to work. It's not going to get dry enough. So I highly recommend you throwing it into your fridge uncovered and let it really get good and dry. So let's see how that one turned out. So this one got the most color of all. Check how pretty that is. So as you can see, this one's color is absolutely stunning. And that's because of the caramelization, because of the brine, right? And because we dried it out, the skin got really nice and crisp. Is it as crisp as this skin? No, because it's soaked in a brine. But it's pretty beautiful, and I don't think anybody would notice. It always has a little help from the brine to be a little juicier, but you can also obviously brine a whole chicken as well, which is always the juiciest way to make a chicken. So just like the whole chicken, to me, mashed potatoes and your favorite vegetables are always the way to go. If you want to get fancy, you can always mix a nice salad and place it over your roast chicken. That's one of my favorite ways to also serve roast chicken at home. And maybe you'll come up with your favorite brine. There's a lot of different flavorings that you can add. You can even put cinnamon sticks and chilies and all kinds of things into your brine to make it your own. If there's an herb that you like better than tarragon, then go for it. And there you have it. Beautiful brined, cut up roast chicken. That is our second technique. Come back, I've got some more chicken for you, of course. SoFloShows.com is a great place to celebrate the food of South Florida. It's also the place to ask me a question or make a comment, especially a good comment. Again, SoFloShows.com. We'll see what's cooking on SoFlo Taste right after this. Welcome back to SoFlo Taste. We're here at Junior Achievement of South Florida in Coconut Creek, a wonderful place for our children and their education. For more information, visit jasouthflorida.org. Now back to some more recipes to crow about. All right, my last recipe technique is the spatchcock. Now, you can absolutely ask, if you're buying your chicken at Delaware Chicken Farm, you can absolutely ask them to spatchcock this chicken. You basically just slice down the back of it on both sides of the backbone, and then you just open it up and push down all the way until it's really nice and flat. Now, I'm going to teach you my favorite way to cook this bird. This is just fresh as is, but I'm going to make a little compound butter to make it irresistible. All right, so in here I have a little bit of butter. I've got chopped tarragon and parsley, minced garlic, minced shallot, red crushed chili flake, a little bit of salt and black pepper. And finally, let's go ahead and zest a lemon. And you want to try to get really all of this lemon. If you happen to be the kind of people that only love limes, which are delicious, you can go ahead and use limes. You can use oranges, tangerines. Any citrus zest would work beautifully in this recipe. Okay. Go ahead and mix this up really, really well. Now, this has not been brined, it has not been cured, and it has not, well, really, we've done nothing. The only thing I would recommend doing with all of your chicken is a little bit of air drying, like we've been talking about with all the birds. I highly recommend it. Just keep it uncovered on a rack, just the way it is, sitting there, and go ahead and put it into your refrigerator at least 24 hours, up to about 4 days would be great. All right, so this is a delicious compound butter. By the way, good on everything, and I mean everything. So let's go ahead and separate the skin from the breast, kind of delicately. You put your hands into it, and then we're going to separate the skin from the legs as delicately as you can, not to break the skin. Do that here. Okay, let's take, using a spatula, you don't want to dip your hands into it. Let's take a nice amount of the compound butter and just press right into the breast. Do the same on the other side. I'm using a lot just because I can, and I have a lot of it, but you can go more delicate if you want to. But you're going to want a lot of it, it's so good. One leg, make sure you get into the leg, not just the thigh. And then finally, last one. This butter, by the way, can live in your refrigerator. This butter can live in your freezer. You can slice bits of it at a time. Always keep it around like I do, because it's great for finishing poultry like this, but also steaks and pastas and pretty much anything you got. All right, so this goes right into the oven. A really nice high temperature. And let's go ahead and take one out. And if you can, I would actually be brushing it about every 20 minutes with the fat that it gathers underneath it. So to me, the presentation of the spatchcock is rather dramatic. I don't think I would do much to it. Maybe if you want to just cut it in half, unless you have a platter as big as this one, which I happen to keep around. So in that case, you can place it down on a large platter. This would make delicious gravy, by the way. Don't forget about all the good juices. And there you have it, a beautiful spatchcock chicken. All right, come right back so we can bring all these three together and see what we got. To get a taste of what we made on today's show, go to SoFloShows.com. Come right back. Welcome back to SoFlo Taste and our show all about chicken. So check it out. We've got the spatchcock, the whole roast, and the brine. I would love to know what your favorites are. It's interesting, the coloration is more vibrant and darker on the brine chicken for obvious reasons, right? Because it has a little bit of that sugar in there. The spatchcock looks pretty mean to me too. It's pretty delicious. But I am always been a whole roast chicken kind of a girl, especially when you stuff it with the lemons like that. Let's see. But then this is delicious. And there you have it. So thank you so much. Sorry, everybody, for spending time with me today. Our time together is so important to me. I hope you enjoy it too. And I hope I gave you some new ways to elevate the chicken into your menus. Next week, do you dread the pop-in? You know what I mean, the unexpected visit by friends or family? Well, it may be wonderful to see them and catch up. But what will you do to feed them? Well, I got your answers next week. I'll be giving you recipes to thwart the pop-in. So join me on SoFlo Taste before that doorbell unexpectedly rings. Now let's check in with our talented pal, Elena Capra, to see what she's got coming up on SoFlo Home Project. Hey, Elena.
Hi, Michelle. Good morning. So today we are going to share the latest in luxury design. Coming up on SoFlo Home Project, we take a look at ways to elevate your home decor with design inspiration found straight off the runway.
Okay, Ms. Capra, thanks. We'll stay right here to see chic. So taste buds, I'll see y'all next week. Goodbye. Mwah. And good taste and good chicken. Thumb licking good.